What's going on, guys? Frankie Dingleberry here, and today we're going to be talking about the GTX 750 Ti. This GPU came out 2 years ago on February 18th, 2014, I believe, and with a very appealing budget price of about $110 US to $130 depending on the model, there are still many people that are using this card today. Although that this is an entry-level GPU, you still can get quite good performance on modern 2016 games, as long as you don't mind turning down settings just a little bit to say medium and low. But with Nvidia releasing its 10 series GPUs and AMD releasing their RX series of GPUs, we asked the question, is it really still a good GPU to buy today? So let's look at some benchmarks and see just how this GPU performs. Today we are going to be using a different system. We're not going to be using mine with an overclocked FX 6300, so shout out to my brother because today we are going to be using his system for these benchmarks and tests. So I'll put his specs right here on screen for you, and we'll look at some footage of his system in general. But as you can see, what we're working with is an Intel i5 4460 CPU with 16GB of Kingston HyperX Fury DDR3 and the Gigabyte GTX 750 Ti with 2GB of GDDR5 VRAM. So this is a GPU that we will be testing today, and it has a base clock of 1059 MHz and it boosts to 1137 MHz. This card specifically runs for about $165 Canadian and about $115 US. So without further ado, let's jump right into the benchmarks. So as you can see, this card handled all these games pretty well. Although Black Ops 3 does come with quite a bit of stuttering on this GPU, but the game is pretty terribly optimized, so that's more on Activision's fault than it is Nvidia's. So looking at the performance, do I feel that this card is worth buying today? Yeah, I definitely do. It's definitely a viable GPU in today's market. But it is a little bit hard to recommend to buy brand new because the RX 460 does perform slightly better and it comes in at the exact same price and it is newer architecture. But the difference is small enough that it really just comes down to personal preference if you're an AMD or an Nvidia person. But personally, I find that its true value now is going to lie in the used market. Since everybody's going to be rushing to get those RX 480s and those GTX 1060s, a lot of people are going to be selling their 750 Ti's. Just as long as you trust the person that you're buying the card from, then you are going to be getting some really good price to performance value. Just as long as you keep in mind that in about a year from now, you will probably need to upgrade to something like a GTX 950 or maybe even the 1060, because the graphics in games are evolving pretty damn quickly. But all in all, for today and right now, it is definitely still a viable GPU. So I guess that wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, then definitely be sure to subscribe. And if you have any suggestions for videos in the future, then let me know in the comment section down below. And until next time, peace trout, YouTube.